Hi guys, welcome back. In this video I'm going to be reviewing the shifter bushing kit from Will Powered Performance. It's a kit that basically has a bunch of bushings and a little you know, some shims and whatnot, and it's basically to reduce some of the slop on your shifter mechanism on the Honda ACTY. And I think it works for a few models, in particular the HA4, which is the one I have, a 92. The kit is sold. There's two kits. There's a abbreviated kit, which is less expensive, and then there's a complete kit, which is what I got. I figure if you're gonna do it, you might as well go all the way. The kit, I believe, cost $45 for the full one. It is not cheap for what it is. It's just a bunch of little bushings, but you got to understand this is a very cottage industry, and sometimes it's just not worth your while to even create a product for these mini trucks. So you should be glad there's anybody out there even doing anything for these that's new, you know. So I get the price is high, and it's high for a reason. You know, you got to make it worth your while to even invest your time and money into creating these kits. So with having said that, the kit just came like this, with a business card and a and the components for the kit. The business card had the person's well, Joshua Willett, his contact info. It didn't have instructions. I sent him a text, and he responded within seconds. Said, "Hey, here's a link to the YouTube video, and you could do your." And telling me that there's going to be 2 ball couplings that to use the gray one first. I'll get into that with more detail, but I just want to let you know that he was very responsive. I mean seconds. So let's look at what's in the kit. Alright, so let's take a look at what's in the kit. Alright, so you got a little poly bag with some grease. You got the card. Over here. Okay, so looks like you got these flanged washers or collars, whatever you want to call them. Looks like you got 6 of those. And then you got 5 of these little shim washers. You got 2 sleeve bushings. These let me see if they're the same. Yeah, no, they're different diameters, so you gotta be careful with that. One is for a different part, and you can kind of see they're different thicknesses too. You got 2 of these. So he told me to use the gray one first, because a lot of people were complaining that the black one was breaking because it might be a tighter tolerance, so that it might break. But to use the gray one first, if that breaks, then you, or if that works, then you have an extra one. But and then you got 2 little cotter pins. So also, when I was looking at his instructions, it seemed that these were different thicknesses, and you can see there. And this is to take up slop in the mechanism, so depending on how much slop you have, you use a thin shim or a thicker shim. Looks like there's 5 of these. It looks like there's 2 thick ones, or maybe not. Let me see here. 3 thick ones, 2 thin ones. So now I already have all the shrouding taken off of here, because of my last video I ran a wire through here, this green wire, to power my my tack. So taking advantage that I have this all out to do the modification. But the cotter pins are for these actuator arms over here. They're held with a castle nut with a cotter pin on both sides. You can see on this on the bottom here as well. For this one, it's hard to see, but once I take out the mechanism, it'll be easier. Now, one thing, when I have my, let me just put it in first so you can see. I have quite a lot of slop, but one thing you got to understand about the ACTYs is these shifters, they're soft mounted with these 3 bolts that have a big rubber grommet. There's one here and one there. And if you look, a lot of the movement that comes from the shifting is actually from this base plate because it's soft mounted. So you're always going to have some movement. It's not going to be super tight, you know, because it's designed to flex. And the reason for that, I believe, is so you don't get so much vibration through the drive line on your shifter, so that when you're driving, the thing's not vibrating with the engine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out this shifter handle as well, and we'll get started with installing the kit. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is now I gotta warn you guys, when I first bought the truck, I put some extra nylon shims in here and stuff because I had noticed a lot of slop. But I think a lot of the slop is actually coming from this banjo attachment here. You could see that there's a lot of movement. I think it's because the bushing that's in there is completely worn. So that's why I ordered this kit, because that's probably going to be the most significant change to all of this, is going to be replacing that bushing in there. So to get started with that, first thing we got to do is pull out the cotter pin. And you're gonna reuse this washer on the outside, so don't throw that out. It's also got a plastic, it's like a metal washer and a plastic washer. It's 2 of them. They're just stuck together because of the grease. So if you pull that sleeve out, alright, so it looks like I didn't even have a bushing in here. It's completely missing. So we'll leave that disconnected for now. Now we're gonna break these bolts here and this bolt to try to kind of get this mechanism to remove the shifter mechanism. So let's start with these. I believe that is a 12. Yep, these are 12 millimeter. And these are 14, I believe. Yep, 14. Now just push these bolts through. Actually, doesn't look like you actually have to do this in a sequence, so you got to remove the actual shifter first. There you go. So once you remove the shifter, make sure you keep all these heavy-duty washers here. Then you could remove these 2 bolts. And now you have your shifter kind of loose to the side, and you could try to pop this out of the, it just slides right out. And then this is the little piece that you're also replacing. Although I gotta tell you, mine doesn't feel like it has much slop, but maybe the wear is not on the inside where the ball is, maybe the wear is on the outside, and that tolerance just got smaller. So with this out, I'm just gonna try to pop that off by hand. If not, I'll just use some sort of tool. Let's see if I can do it with this. There you go. That popped right off. And now these two sleeves here are what you're gonna replace. So for now, I'm just gonna keep putting all the parts to the side, and then we'll replace all of those shims at the same time. So next I'm gonna remove this part because we're gonna add some shims in here to take up some of that slop. There's not much, but I think this is a battle of a war of very small battles, so I think every little piece counts. So this white nylon washer that's here, your car will not have that. Something I added a while back. I'm gonna slide off this, and we're gonna pull out this mechanism, and that's also one of the sleeves we're gonna replace, is this one on the outside. And now we got to remove also this other cotter pin on this side. All right, so I didn't want to put you through the pain, but got the cotter pin out. So now we're just gonna again remove that washer. We're gonna reuse that one, and we're gonna slide out the shifter mechanism. Now this one's more like a rose joint, has a little plastic ball bearing in there, not ball bearing, but a little circular ball piece on the inside. And there's zero grease, but yeah, there's very much a lot of slop in there. So we're just gonna remove that because the kit comes with a new sleeve to replace this. All right, so basically at this point you have everything removed that you need to remove, and the next step is to start replacing bushings and greasing up the assembly. All right, so we have the three components of the shifter mechanism where we're going to replace these bushings on. So basically this one, you can see there's one on this side, one on that side, so that one gets two. So we'll just pull these off. By the way, if you have a pick like this, it's going to come in real handy when doing this. Okay, let's put the old parts away. Make sure you put grease. Now, the kit came with some black grease, but I'm gonna use this one that I have. It's synthetic. I'm not saying it's any better, but actually, what I like about it is that it's not black. So if I spill it, I don't make a freaking mess. So these are should be all the same, and they're gonna be a tight fit. So you just got to make sure you press them in there, and you got to do it as straight as possible. Just make sure that is, yeah. think what I'm gonna do is in the end I'm gonna put this on the vise and just squeeze it a little bit more just to make sure, or use some channel locks to make sure that they're in all the way. So we move on to this one. This one only has two. They're on the outside, one here and one here. These actually look like they come out real easy. They're already kind of loose. Yeah, the new ones are definitely a tighter fit. That's for sure. Alright. I'm going to use this thin piece of wood here just to help press it in. Almost screwed that one up. Gotta make sure you're going straight, or else you'll damage these. Alright, so we got these in there all the way, both sides. I'm also going to put a little bit of grease on the inside before I install it. Now let's actually let's make sure these are pressed in on this part, even though we replaced them already. There you go. This one's done. And now the only one left is the actual shifter arm. Again, these weren't bad online. They're actually pretty intact. Probably didn't need to replace them, but might as well since you're in here. Alright, so we got the new bushings installed on all the 3 parts, and now we could get them back in the truck. Almost forgot, while you have this out, it might be a good time to install this ball carrier here, because it might be difficult to do it in the car. So here it's gonna be a lot easier for you to do what you gotta do. So for this, I'm actually gonna use the grease that they supplied. I'm just gonna cut a little bit of the corner here and then squeeze it up and fill that little cup here and press it on here, grease that up a little bit. Channel locks again. Just gonna put a piece of wood like that. Almost. Do this caveman style. Alright, so that was a disastrous fail. I completely smashed the gray one. I guess don't use a hammering action to pop these in. You just gotta put your body weight. Luckily the kit came with 2, so now I know why it comes with 2, because I guess it's a common occurrence for people to break those while trying to press them in. The good thing is I think the black one is actually the one with the tighter tolerance, and the gray one was something that was designed with a lower tolerance because of people breaking them while trying to fit it in. So I think I'm good. I'm actually glad that I'm using the black one instead. Now I just want to let you know, I think the reason why this broke so easily is this is a 3D printed part. I don't know what material it's 3D printed with. Hopefully it's something that's UV resistant, not something like PLA, but something more tough, like it actually looks like ABS to me. The quality of the print is not that great. You wonder if these could probably be printed in nylon. That might be the way to go, but again, I don't know what this is, what material he used, but it is a 3D printed part, so you know, just so your expectations are where they should be. All right, so now it's time to install these bushings here on our banjo fittings. Like I said, there's 2 different ones, and one has a thicker wall thickness, a bigger wall thickness. That one goes towards this one that we're replacing that little plastic ball in there, and then the thinner one will go to this side. So what we're gonna do right now is just grease these up a little bit and get them in there. And I'm putting grease on the inside and the outside. And this is a tight tolerance for sure. Might have to use something to press that in. Let me just put that on the side here and move on to the next one. Okay, that one went in a lot easier. Which is good. Next, let's just try to press this. got that pressed in. Now let's start putting some of these parts back with the shims. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is install this piece here. And the bolts that secure it, you're going to replace these shims, and I'm going to replace them with the thicker of the shims because it looks like the one that was on there was pretty thick. So that's one side, and then we'll do it for the other. Alright, and then we're just going to go ahead and install this thing back up. I'm gonna apply some grease to both sides. And line it up. Some grease on the inside here too. There we go. Okay, the other side. Now this side had the spring. You know what, let me clean the grease off my hands so I could actually hold the tool without it slipping off. Now obviously you can't torque this all the way. What I'm gonna do is just ease off. I'm gonna probably just assemble everything, and then once I have the shifter in place, I'll loosen screws where I need to. Put some grease where this little square block is gonna ride on. Now the one thing I didn't pay attention to when taking this off is if this sits in there's like a slot for the grease to ooze out of it when you press it in. I don't know if it sits this way or perpendicular, but let me just check here. So that's pretty dead on. And if I rotate it, it doesn't fit, so there's your answer. So this goes like this. The slots are gonna be horizontal. It's out of the way. In there. Alright, so we're gonna put some grease on this banjo here. Slide it on. Reuse the washer. And the kit came with new cotter pins. So you could see this was the worst offender here. I had, actually let me adjust the camera angle so you can see better. Alright, so this was our worst offender. It had a lot of play this way. I mean, there's a little bit of play still, but that's because it is a movable joint, so that's always expected. But there's zero play this way now, because remember I had basically no bushing in there whatsoever. So I think that's going to be the biggest difference for as far as this kit goes. So next is to just going to put this bolt back on in here, and then I could put the shifter arm in place as well. And like I told you, I'm gonna go back then and adjust the tolerances, because these are all movable joints, so they can't be torqued all the way. So now the only thing left is to put this guy and connect that banjo bolt on the bottom to this here. So I'm putting one of these shims here. I'm using a thicker one. I don't know if that might be overkill, but I'm gonna try it like that and see how that works, and then take it from there. The banjo fitting out of the way here. Okay, now this gets the that big washer on this side. Sorry, I know the camera angle is no good for you guys, but I really can't hold the camera and do this. I'll try to show it to you once it's installed. I'm gonna attempt to film this, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do a good job here. Basically, I just want to show you this, the banjo fitting here just slides onto that little stem on the shifter. Try to do this one-handed is like not a good idea. Alright, I gotta figure out another way. Alright guys, just want to show you what's happening under here. So basically I just slid the the banjo fitting with the new bushing inside that put the existing washer back. Remember, you reused those, and now I just gotta put the cotter pin on and that part will be done. Alright guys, everything's buttoned up. I went back off camera with a 12mm crescent and I just loosened up everything that was over torqued. It's just so different from where it was, and I think the biggest culprit, again, it's this banjo fitting. I had no bushing in there whatsoever, so all the slop came from there. Now if you see when I shift, that movement you see, that's actually coming from the soft mount here, from this mounting plate that's got these 3 rubber mounted bolts, and all the play is coming from there. Kind of see it, not from the actual shifter. This is almost like a bolt action, or like a bolt rifle. So especially first into second, no slop whatsoever. Snick snick, snick snick, just like a rifle. So I'm gonna call this one done. I actually used I had 2 shims left over because I got the full kit. Replacing the full bushings, that's really the way to go. If you're gonna do this, don't half-ass it, just get the full kit. I mean, I think it's only like $10 more over the other one, and it's just, I don't see why you would do one and not the other. And it's what I recommended, absolutely. I mean, it's a little bit overpriced, like I said, but you got to understand, for somebody to take the time to make these kits, it's a pain in the ass. It's got to be worth their while. So, you know, you got to charge a bit of a premium. But the result is you have a shifter that feels like it's new. So, again, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope it helped you, and I hope it helps you make a decision if you decide to get this kit or not. Thanks for watching.
Little.